Hello there, dear listeners. This episode was recorded over Zoom, a video chat application by and for 14-year-olds who love to say racial slurs. Not only that, it was broadcast live on Facebook. And look, it was just a little stilted and awkward. So we're throwing it out as a bonus app. That's it. Sorry that it is how it is. But look, it's got a lot of Joe Exotic stuff. It's got a lot of Tiger King content. So it's a bonus. All right, people. And stay indoors and be good boys and girls. Love ya.
We're both excited because,
we're
somebody
doing it
posted
live
about Tiger King, which is so cool.
Oh, man.
We're all into it. So that's awesome.
I love it. I want to watch it again.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I could handle it again just because it is so long and involved and emotional. It was a wonderful distraction. I think that's the longest stretch of time I've gone without thinking about ye old coronavirus. Ye old coronavirus. Lisa P submitted, she said, let's be real. Beautiful. Everyone's in quarantine and we're all stuck as fuck on Tiger King. So who's the real asshole? Is it Joe Exotic, who is an exceptional singer, might I add? Carol, husband Hunter Baskin, maybe Doc, whatever the hell his last name. Antler! Oh, Antle. It's Antle. He cut the R off. Oops. Whatever the hell his last name, with a cult of young wives, Jeff the Hustler, Mario the Drug Lord. Who sucks most here? Also, I really feel it's fair that we just exclude the everyone sucks here remarks. Everyone is literally awful here, but who is the worst?
Okay, so number one, I have to add that was not Jeff's singing voice. He literally hired this country band to do his songs, and he would just lip sync over them for the recordings.
You mean Joe Exotic? That's not his real voice. In the videos. Yeah. Obviously not. Listen to his speaking voice and then listen to the singing voice, and there's no way those could come out of the same person. Right. And I saw a tweet you wrote that you were blown away at the amount of original music. It was prolific. So iconic. Joe had multiple songs. Carol also had a song, all equally bad, all very terrible. But I was like, what kind of a true crime adjacent documentary is this? I did not like the songs. I read up on something about him, and it said that his voice was very quietly mixed in, so you could just barely make it out, I guess. Yes. Anyway, Sarah's being super modest. She actually went crazy viral with this tweet. She says, absolutely iconic how Carol Baskin, oh God, my computer's exploding. Absolutely iconic how Carol Baskin did Tiger King, thinking she'd get to expose Joe Exotic and Doc Antle for animal abuse, and now all of America is obsessed with Joe and thinks Carol is a murderer. That's showbiz, baby. Hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it truly is. And what I liked about the documentary, I've been talking about it for a week on various podcasts. That's fine. That's my job now. Is usually Netflix documentaries will literally hit you over the head with who's supposed to be the good one, right? And leave out evidence to the contrary. But this one was kind of great because they just kind of presented a bunch of stuff to you, and they were like, do with it what you want. All these people suck in their own unique way. Yeah, I mean, I really thought it was awesome that Lisa posted this because it really was a giant Am I the Asshole? And I thought the one interesting thing on that note was they kind of left it a little ambiguous as to whether who treated the animals the most poorly. And I did read some comments that people seemed unsure, and they tried to make all of them equivalent, which I don't think is true. No, I do think I don't think Carol is a saint, and alleged murder aside, she probably treats the animals the best, but that's not to say that, she's running a completely above board operation. She relies on completely free labor. So, but if you even read the Yelp reviews between Joe's Zoo and Carol's Rescue, which I did because I have nothing but time, it was amazing because Joe's has terrible reviews. 1 star that will read when you walk in, the smell of desperation hits you first. And then Carol, before she got brigaded by people who watched this documentary and gave her 1 star because she allegedly killed her husband, like she had 4 or 5 star reviews, like consistently.
I mean, for me, the animal thing is big because I think people get crazy when you're mean to animals. And I think the way she keeps them, and I'm inferring this from one detail, which is that Joe Exotic goes to the park and then he notices that he can only see something like 12 cats. And he claims that, it's a ripoff actually for customers because they're seeing so few cats. But I kind of thought that's because the cats can roam.
Right. Other people who've been there who've messaged me have said that it's because the enclosures are so big.
Right. Right.
So maybe she probably, like, how many did she claim to have? Like 100 and he saw 12?
I mean, when you go to the zoo, sometimes you don't see any of those motherfuckers. They're like celebrities. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? Come out.
Right. I'm like, maybe she doesn't have as many as she claims, but she probably has more than 12.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't have the hate for Carol. I guess I don't really think it's plausible given that strong of a motive. And this isn't maybe fair to the documentary makers, but I'm like, clearly there wasn't a case because she had a extremely strong motive. The will thing is such a detail. Like, I don't know. I mean, how the hell could that have happened?
Danny, we had investigated this for my true crime podcast a while ago, and just how hard it is to get any sort of murder charge or investigation without a body.
Oh, because they never found the body.
They never found a body, and they probably never will at this point. So I don't really have an opinion one way or the other, which is so funny because now I feel like I'm known for this person who thinks Carol is a murderer when, like, I don't think that. I'm just like, it's the easiest thing to think, and that's what everyone thinks. Like, Twitter is like a science. You just kind of have to play into what everyone else is like thinking and talking about to an extent. But I do love the irony, though. Like, that to me is the best because Carol acted pretty high and mighty throughout the series, and it comes out that she's no saint.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of the irony of that, which is that ultimately she looks the worse after the release of the documentary. She's actually the antagonist. But I thought it was really ironic and kind of delicious. And it's hard for me to say it, but the fact that Joe Exotic is in a cage, I kind of thought that fit.
That is excellent. And also, like, I loved that Cardi B tweeted, like, I'm going to start a fund to free Joe Exotic. I'm like, no, no.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Now,
as much as I want him, like, out in the world making more music videos, like, this man is not totally innocent.
I kind of buried the lead here for people watching on Facebook or listening. So Sarah wrote that thing kind of summarizing, that everyone thinks Carol's a murderer, that showbiz baby. That was her tweet. Gwyneth Paltrow. Old Gwynny P writes, there is no other explanation. Featured on a great Instagram account at Comments by Celebs, which I don't even like, and I like that account. It's so good.
Love it. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Gwyneth and I were going to go to a gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free lunch when this is all over.
Shut the hell up. Are you serious?
No, I wish.
Me and my friend used to have this joke. It was kind of a joke word, and we just always, like, anytime someone did a faux pas, we'd be like, goop, goop, goop. It was just a weird thing.
That's accurate.
So I used to have this bit I would do where I would say .com. Like, I'd be like, Sarah.com, what's up? It was a bad bit. No one liked it. But eventually we started saying goop.com. And that was it. It was just a dumb thing we said. One day my buddy goes to work. He works at Stern. And he's at this meeting. And they're like, yeah, so the thing about goop.com is that Gwyneth just wants this. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm in a dream. This makes no sense. Like, this is a nonsense thing. Me and my friends.
Oh, my God. The thing about goop.com is it already exists.
Right. Well, we didn't know.
That's crazy.
Stacey Ann writes on the matter of AITA for being a Tiger King. Carol Baskin, as everyone else shows you who they are, she's a hypocrite.
I think that's kind of what it boiled down to, like, more or less, and why people are so quick to hate her, is because she is kind of a hypocrite. Like, she crusades against breeding tiger cubs and then has admitted on video that she's done it. Like,
right. I think But okay, you threw me a curveball there because I didn't expect you to say cubs. I thought this was going to come back to the cages.
No, because that was like her big. I mean, and she is working towards that law, but that was like a big point for me. But that I don't know. That's what I think kind of got a lot of people.
That she has the cubs in her house.
No, she had. This is an old video, but she had admitted to breeding tiger cubs in the past.
And then she started the bill, which had still not passed.
Yeah, then she started this like crusade. That was just like one of a few examples.
I don't view her as all that hypocritical. I think that what she's doing is valid. I think there is a way to keep wild cats that is not at least cruel. It may not be as humane as leaving them alone, but I also feel like one thing that is true about this, which is kind of a weird externality, which is like these are endangered animals. You know, like this kind of guarantees that they won't go extinct, as sick as it is to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it gets into like a whole animal debate, but I just thought it was crazy that we have like 10,000 tigers in the and like 3,000 in the wild. And I had no idea it was so easy to get a tiger.
Yeah, we should get a tiger for the live stream. We only got 5 people on. If we have a fucking tiger.
According to Jeff Lowe, we'd get a lot of pussy if we got a tiger on the stream. I hate that guy. I think he's my least favorite because, ugh.
You know, I found his demeanor to be cold and neutral, and he didn't piss me off. I was just like, I don't like you, but like I wouldn't talk to you.
Did you watch that? I mean, there was so much that got me, like how they wheeled these poor tiger cubs like through the lobbies of Vegas hotels. But like, there's this one point where he's basically talking about how nanny just so he can fuck her. And then he turns to his 8-month pregnant wife and is like, yeah, the second that baby comes out, you're going to be back in the gym. I wanted to like reach to the TV and just strangle him.
That's super valid. I don't know why. I never hated him. I hated Doc Antle so much more right away. And for some reasons, I was like, this guy's clearly a pig. And I guess I just found him more phony. I think that bothered me more. I think Jeff Lowe's like, yeah, he's a cold piece of shit. He's a backstabbing piece of shit. But like, I can just look at him and know he's that. Whereas Doc Antle is like, hey, I'm a tiger guy. And I'm like, I'm way more creeped out by that.
He's definitely really creepy. And the thing that is extra creepy was like he's almost set up as like a sort of voice of reason because you have Joe who's just fucking batshit out of his mind and then Carol who's like really into cats, like chill out a little lady, like diversify your wardrobe. And then it's like Doc, you almost forget about this like sex cult grooming teenagers thing because he like kind of says reasonable stuff the whole time. Oh, they're all crazy.
Edith W. writes, I think Doc Antle might be human trafficking along with selling tigers. That man creeped me out. He had those vibes, just like this too much, you know?
He's definitely not doing everything above board. I'll say that much.
Lisa P. kind of aligns with you. She writes, Doc is for sure the worst, but Jeff taking animals into hotels to get him effed is awful.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me so much. I was like, well, yeah, it's mean to the tiger for a few minutes, but, you know, that's Vegas. I feel like that kind of thing should happen in Vegas.
Like, yeah, but that's not allowed.
No, it should be illegal, but it also needs to happen.
It is.
It's very illegal.
It's a very Vegas thing to happen, but that doesn't make it okay.
Ronnie F says, Ronnie Fleming, Jeff Lowe is quietly the biggest asshole. Everyone he comes into contact with hates his guts after. He's a snake and he'll betray you. That's true.
That's a really valid point. Like, no one had anything good to say about that guy after dealing with him for like 2 minutes.
Except that guy who worked with him forever, right? The guy.
Oh, Alan?
Alan.
Oh, Alan? Jeff, like, has some crazy dirt on Alan. Like, that much is obvious. They probably, like, committed a murder together.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend who isn't in the group, it hurts my feelings, but what can I say? Texted me personally, the real asshole is the second documentary guy stealing the whole project.
Huh?
In other words, remember in the documentary, they're interviewing someone who was making a documentary.
Oh, Rick?
Rick. And then Joe Exotic burns down his
That's so
archive.
funny. I honestly mourn the loss of that reality show because that would have been such prime television.
I feel like this was kind of the best case scenario, though. Like, this documentary, I'm so happy it didn't lean into the animal rights aspect, because that would have sucked the fun out. And instead it was just like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah. I mean, the documentary people like didn't even set out to make, actually did set out to like expose all this animal abuse. That's also why Carol Baskin is like fucking pissed at Netflix. And then I feel like when they got down there, they were like, wait a second, like these people are their own documentary. And I'm glad for it.
I'm so glad for it. This is like the perfect coronavirus doc. Allison F. writes, I definitely think Jeff Lowe is the biggest villain. He orchestrated the entire murder for hire plot, IMO, and he's scummy as hell.
He's scummy. The thing is, like, I don't buy that Joe was like completely innocent and was totally framed. I think they probably like manipulated him and pushed him to this eventual end.
You don't think he was framed? You're not willing to go that far?
No, I think Jeff was kind of like the hand that guided him or like pushed him to do this. But I think that he did it.
I think he was framed. I think that he did things that could be construed as what he was charged with. But I think the only reason, and I think that the prosecutors are very smart about doing it, is, leading with all the other animal stuff. Building that whole case. I don't see him as someone who is capable of that.
What I see the situation to be is like, that scene in Breaking Bad where like Badger gets busted by an undercover cop for selling him meth. And he's like, if I ask you if you're a cop, you have to tell me. And so he sells him meth and he's like, oh, it's entrapment. Like, that's what I picture to have happened. Just because someone manipulated you to do something doesn't mean that you were framed.
Well, I mean, it wasn't entrapment, but I don't know if I would say, I feel like he was framed. I feel like, he really was doing things that were illegal, but I don't really think he would have gotten Carol Baskin killed.
I don't think he would have been able to pull it off.
Yes, exactly.
I think he made like a half-assed attempt. Or like a meth-headed attempt.
Yes, a $3,000 attempt. It made no sense. Danny C. writes in, hey there, all you cool cats and kittens. Amari M. writes, I do not judge. I want the tigers to eat everyone.
You got to get a big meat grinder then.
I love this. Somebody wrote... Sarah B., Carol's husband, for having the audacity to talk to the camera in a professional manner. Like, we didn't just see an animal print being locked on a leash.
Iconic. Yeah, I could get a whole spin-off on their wedding photos. But also, I don't want to know.
So, overall, I don't think we've really pushed each other. Who is the asshole of Tiger King?
The biggest asshole... like in general or like with events that took place?
I think as far as a documentary is concerned,
I think Jeff is just like the biggest asshole because he's in so many respects of life.
True. It's true. I think that Joe is so funny and fun and quirky that he is the secret asshole and everybody loves him. He's impossible not to love. He's very Trump. He's very Trump-like in that sense. He has this charisma and this energy that you just want to follow. And I think that's why, he has his followers. You notice that, what's his name? Doc Antle doesn't have any male followers, but I think Joe does. Because Joe
only has male followers, which was like another crazy
I guess
angle.
You're right. He didn't have any women followers. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's so easy to like him. His personality gets in the way, but I think he ultimately does deserve to do some time, not 20 years. I think he should do 5 years or 3 years or something.
I don't know. I think the thing is, like, I feel like it's easy to like him because it's so, like, the bad stuff that he's done is so obvious. And he's not trying to hide it, so it's kind of easy for you to gloss over it in a way.
That's true. True.
I love this documentary. I'll talk about it for the next, as long as I'm alive.
So I think we agree everyone sucks here, even though Lisa said no one's allowed to say that.
Is there a single person who doesn't suck? I was thinking like, I don't know.
Kelsey. People like Kelsey. Whose name actually isn't Sa. Yeah, Sa.
Yeah, or however he pronounces it. Yeah, he was the realest one. Yeah. The campaign manager.
Shannon M. wrote, I know. Oh, yeah, I like the campaign manager, too. And my girlfriend was remarking, like, what a career upgrade. He was a Walmart manager, and then he legit ran a, like, campaign that went somewhere.
Poor guy was, like, dealing with such abuse for so long.
Well, and, like, I was kind of blown away. Like, yeah, Joe was nowhere close to winning governor, but getting 20% of the vote as an independent is, like, a huge deal.
Yeah. Honestly, you got to respect it.
You got to respect it. All right. I think we agree everyone sucks here. Yeah. AITA for having liquor in the apartment, even though my roommate turns out to be a recovering alcoholic. My roommate and I moved in on a 6-month lease together. We both committed to it. We talked about all the basic stuff. He asked me if I was any kind of serious drinker, and I said I was not. In hindsight, I should have made sure his idea of serious drinker and mine were the same thing, but hindsight is 2020. The whole conversation was, quote, "Hey, I'm sorry if this is a little personal, but I have to ask, do you drink?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Serious drinking or just the occasional kind of thing?" And I said, "Oh, not serious at all." Thinking he'd probably had a bad experience dealing with a hard-partying ex-roommate. So we move in and I start stocking up my liquor cabinet and he says, "Whoa, what's all this, sister?" And I tell him I have a few bottles of liquor. But not to worry, I haven't been drunk since college. Still figuring dealing with drunk guys was his concern. He didn't seem thrilled, but didn't bring it up again. I usually have a glass of wine with dinner. The first night I did, he said, "Congratulations, what are we celebrating?" And I said, "Nothing, just unwinding." He seemed uncomfortable, and I noticed we never overlapped during dinner again. But at the time, didn't think much of it at all. Never occurred to me it was intentional. Fast forward to today, he said, "I don't tell many people this, but I have a drinking problem. I haven't touched a drink in 6 years, but every day is still an active choice to do so. And I'm sorry, but I cannot take being in the house with your liquor cabinet and wine drinking every day. Could you move some of this stuff out of the apartment, like to a friend's place, or I'll pay for storage?" I told him I'd have to think about it. I was leaning towards saying I can keep the liquor in my room as a middle ground. I want to be supportive and everything, but I'm not a heavy drinker at all. I really like unwinding at the end of the day. And I feel like if he needed this accommodation, he should have said something at the outset. Now we share a house. But I also get for him, it's a medical condition he's fighting, and for me, it's just a recreational preference. So I feel like I might be too quick to dismiss his full request. AITA.
I mean, that the roommate was too indirect from the beginning.
Yeah, he's kind of like doing this weird detective game. He's like, "So, what you celebrating?"
Right. Sounds a little passive aggressive. And if it's a big deal to you, like you can't date people to understand what you mean.
Right. Like, why not just say this up front? I mean, I don't drink, but I don't care if people drink. I mean, I do care. If people drink too much, then I'm like, get away from me. I don't like you. You're a drunk Tiger King, you fool. But I don't get all butthurt about liquor. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think she's being reasonable in being like, "No, it's my house. You didn't bring this up." Like, and he, that's the other thing too. He's not only being indirect, he's also like kind of not coming to grips with what he's asking.
Well, I mean, I will be fair. I think being like he knows that asking the roommate to store their alcohol somewhere else. So I think that offering to pay for it is actually really nice, or like kind of evens out the ridiculousness of the ask.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, yeah, that said, if you can't be in a house with alcohol, like you need to tell people that. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to lead with that. Judy D writes, "NTA, roommates should have disclosed their alcoholic past before committing to living with someone else. So background is on brand for Danny. And for you people listening, it's a grass. I'm just sitting in grass like I'm a tiny little bug."
Amazing. I will also say that, like, it seems like this is not that serious, and, like, they could just reach some kind of obvious middle ground, which is the roommate stores their alcohol in their room and, like,
Yeah, I thought
locks
that
the
was
room.
a reasonable ask. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ozia B writes, I don't think anyone is an asshole here, but if he is a recovering alcoholic, you should move the liquor somewhere else out of respect. I feel like it's a negotiation. It's a compromise. It's their mutual space.
It's like, yeah, but I see where she's coming here, because it's like, technically the roommate doesn't have to do anything, but it's like, do you want to play the technically game on like week 1 of a 6-month lease? Like, that's not going to get you anywhere.
No, of course. And I mean, I think it's a very serious thing to this person, to this alcoholic person. But I do think it's fair for her to be like, hey, look, like, I wanted my house this way. You didn't tell me this information. Like, I kind of expect you to do something in return, you know, whatever that may be.
Which would be what?
I don't know. Buy a jukebox or some shit. I don't know. Something to make the house fun. Buy a fake jellyfish tank.
Yeah, fake jellyfish tank.
By the way, speaking of AITA fake jellyfish tank, I go to buy this thing on Wish. It's $30 for the tank, but then $30 to ship it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
That's
shipping?
How they get you.
I didn't even know you could pay for shipping. What is paying for shipping? It's ridiculous. Patricia L. writes, keep the liquor in your room and just be respectful about drinking in public spaces. Like, wait to drink after dinner in your room, or keep it in a different type of glass, maybe not see-through so he doesn't realize you're drinking wine. You're only the A if you completely disregard his feelings, but he didn't inform you of his problem beforehand, so he can't expect you to change your lifestyle because he wasn't truthful.
Okay, don't you think drinking alone in your room is, like, kind of sad?
It's so sad.
Like, super sad.
Brandon Weinberger writes, jellyfish tank. Thank you, Brandon. What a great comment.
Thank you. We love a jellyfish tank.
I love a jellyfish tank. Jeannie writes, addicts have to join the world as is, not force others to accommodate to them. Same as vegans or people on a diet or whatever. And ooh, you hate it.
I hate that.
Oh, I kind of liked it.
You like it?
I kind of like it.
I don't like equating someone dealing with addiction to a vegan.
I mean, I feel like both vegans and alkies and sobers and everyone does need to, at the same time, be like, hey, can you do X for me if it's a reasonable ask, but at the same time also be like, hey, look, I understand not everyone's like me. So I think there's some truth to it.
Yeah, just what's the word? I don't know. It's just,
Is it the idea that, so what are you saying though? Are you like, fuck vegans because they're choosing
think, like, addiction is a little more serious thing to be a vegan. Like, it's a little bit serious? Trivializing. Yeah.
Oh, so you think it's fine to lock a tiger up in a tiny cage? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, Danny. Of course.
I guess you're right. I kind of see you on that. A vegan.
Like, I get her point, but I'm like, but it's not the same as someone who's, like, deciding to go on a diet.
I mean, I don't think anyone should force others to accommodate them. That's so annoying if you go in.
That's the reality of life, is that you can't force the world to bend to your personal situation. But in this situation, there's a reason that I have sympathy for this person versus, like, if someone just situation with a vegan, I'd be like, okay, no, the other person is obviously the asshole.
Right.
Because this person is struggling with their sobriety, like, I can have a little bit more sympathy and, like, leeway.
See, I think I have less for you because I'm sober and because I know alcoholics. My good friend Lucas has been sober for 11 years. I don't know any sober people with these, like, kinds of rules, because I think part of being sober is that you go, well, look, obviously this is going to be out there, so you have to just learn to resist it. So I think I am actually less empathetic towards the boozer.
Interesting. I guess I don't know any people who are that intense about it, but, like, I don't know. Obviously it's happening. Unless this is a fake story and we busted it again.
No, I think it's a real story. I mean, I think it is weird. This is such a big lifestyle thing. I mean, if I moved in with someone, I better know they're a vegan. That's something to bring up because you just know it's going to be okay, can you not put your lobsters just visible in the refrigerator? You know, there's going to be some crazy shit they get upset about, you know.
What if they made you move the fake jellyfish tank?
Don't put those fucking fake jellyfish in here. I don't like to think about their fake oppression inside your fake tank. By the way, Wish is a slave site. You know they're going to come for Wish. There's no way Wish has clean labor practices.
No way at all.
It's like, do you want a PlayStation 4 for $7? You're like, what are you selling? Who is selling this?
Right? They use like Carol Baskin's wage system, which is like you work for us for free for 5 years and then we learn your name.
Yeah, Carol Baskin does human trafficking via volunteers. AITA for having liquor in the apartment, even though my roommate turns out to be a recovering alcoholic. I think this is a no assholes here at this juncture.
Danny, you cut out. I can't hear you.
I think this is a no assholes here at this juncture.
I can't hear you.
I think this is a no assholes here at this juncture.
Yes, I say no assholes here.
AITA for telling my vegetarian daughter it would be easier if she just ate meat. Wow, another vegetarian one. I do feel kind of bad about this, but I was just frustrated. My daughter is 20 and been vegetarian for 2 years. Last night, I was making dinner for the family, and she was making her own separate meal. There was a lot going on, and between the two of us, every burner on the stove was being used, as well as the oven itself and the microwave. Why is she so mad about it?
You gotta have a microwave. Gotta make my pizza rolls somehow.
There were so many dishes, and we have a tiny kitchen, so we were getting a bit frustrated with each other, being in each other's way. Admittedly, particularly me. Oh my God, so many words to say. I was pissed.
So annoying.
I got so frustrated and angry at one point. It said, guess I'll be doing the dishes. There's so many. She said, I can't do them. Jesus, calm down. I only use 2 dishes anyways. Most of yours. I finally said, out of frustration of coordinating our cooking, this would all be so much easier if you just ate meat with the rest of us. I immediately felt bad when I said it, although I didn't apologize until later when we both calmed down. All she said to me was, you guys could go vegetarian too, or even just eat a vegetarian dinner a couple times a week. Don't blame me. AITA. I didn't mean it. I was just frustrated, but she's still mad at me for saying that to her.
Yeah, it sounds like they're in a small kitchen. I understand the frustration, but
it's rude. It's rude what she said. It's completely rude. It's a personal attack that's unnecessary. It's immature. It's juvenile. Yeah. That said, I totally understand it. I know why it happens in the kitchen, because it's hot. And when you're hot, you get so angry so fast. I get all hot and bothered sometimes. And, and that's what this is. Hot. She's hot and angry.
Yeah, I mean, my sister has been a vegetarian for I don't know, since 7th grade or something like that. And the rest of my family eats meat, and I don't know, my mom would cook for her sometimes, but sometimes my sister would cook for herself. So I understand this, but it's I don't know. I feel like they would just need to work out some kind of schedule so that they're not all in each other's business when they're trying to cook at the same time.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even think it's an issue that much because she never said it before. By the way, your sister, are you just dropping that? You mean your triplet?
Yeah.
Please respect the show, Sarah. You have triplets. Please.
Yes. You make it sound like I gave birth to the triplets.
You have triplets. You are a triplet. That's how work.
Okay.
So, listen, I think that the thing is, what she said was rude. I hate when people go, well, it's true. It's true. It's okay, thank you, Karen. It doesn't matter that it's true. It was still rude.
No, it's definitely a kid.
What?
It's a dickish thing to say to your kid.
Oh, it's absolutely a dickish thing. And I think people need to lose this bullshit of it's true. It's lots of true things.
But I don't think she's doubling down on it by claiming it's true.
No, but she was trying to defend it by saying that. And it's it is true.
Oh, you mean in the exposition part of this?
Yeah.
The first paragraph?
Maybe I misunderstood. I thought she said that it was true. Maybe I just got confused.
No, it just says she got frustrated. She said it. She felt bad. Apologized later.
All right, so the coronavirus has me hallucinating things people said. Okay, I haven't left my house since March 8th, everyone. She didn't say that. I was about to make a whole big point about something she didn't even say. But you know what? Whisper M says, YTA for saying things out of frustration. However, NTA overall, because you realized your mistake and corrected it by apologizing for your actions. It would be easier if everyone was on the same meal plan, but it's important to allow everyone to have a choice. Maybe a vegetarian meal once a week would make her feel more accepted. She even can teach you.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not bad.
But then she wouldn't be not the asshole. It would be no assholes here, because we know the daughter's not the asshole.
I mean, I feel like this was an asshole moment. It was a minor thing. The mom or whoever this is should say sorry. I don't think this needs to be. I think she knows it was rude. It was true, but it was rude. It was not a thing that needed to be said.
Yeah, like she knows she was the asshole in this situation.
Deanna L. White, but only slightly. No harm, no foul. The real asshole is your vegetarian daughter. Go vegan, lady. Dairy is murder.
Must we? Okay.
I'm very confused by that comment. Oh, I see what she's saying. This person is saying you have to be vegan, otherwise you're an asshole because vegetarian isn't going far enough.
But then how is it not ESH if the other family members eat meat? Whatever.
Very true. Very true.
Like they'd be whatever.
Catherine M. writes, fake jellyfish take me with a vegetarian meal once or twice a week, which I think is spot on.
Yeah, it's not that hard to do.
This is very much a like chill out, don't freak out sitch.
Yeah, agree.
I think we agree. AITA for telling my vegetarian daughter it would be easier if she just ate meat. YTA.
Yeah, YTA.
Well, guys, that's the show. It's been cool live streaming this. We've had like 5 people on the whole time. Thanks for tuning in.
5 whole people. Thanks, guys.
Do you want to throw in any coronavirus tales? You got any juice for me, Sarah? Your parents fighting?
No. Everyone's fine. Knock on wood.
My dad is being very stubborn.
Typical dad.
He's such a dad. He likes to play pickleball, which if you guys don't know what pickleball is, it's like tennis, except subtract all the fun, and everyone who plays is 75.
Subtract all the fun.
He loves his pickleball.
That's amazing.
And anyway, he refuses to stop playing, and now his community that he lives in was like, hey, we're closing the pickleball courts. I don't know if you guys have heard about coronavirus ruining the entire world. My dad's like, this is crazy. He wrote like this 3-paragraph letter.
Are you serious?
And I had to call him and be like, hey, Dad, I think it's time to stop. And we finally convinced him.
It's time to let down the pickleball.
It's time.
To put down the ping pong paddle, right? That's what they play pickleball with?
It's played with a paddle about yay big.
Oh, I thought it was like a ping pong paddle and a wiffle ball.
No, it's a little bit bigger than a ping pong. But
okay,
anyway.
Whatever, but I have the idea.
My mom finally was just like, well, you're endangering me. You're endangering me, Carlos. And then he was like, all right. And that got him. So now he's not playing.
My current move, it's been slow increments. My current move is to get my parents to not go to the grocery store because we ran out of like 2 things.
Oh, they keep going?
No, I mean, they've only been once, but my dad went because he ran out of bread. And I was like, we don't need this.
Come
like,
on,
let's
man.
eat all the food and then, yeah. So
what
that's my next step is like, who cares if we don't have cinnamon raisin toast? I don't know. That was just random, but like,
right.
You know, I'm just living off pizza bites anyway. I don't care.
Oh God, yeah, we ate so much freaking frozen salt-ass food.
I want some now, to be honest.
I ordered Diet Mountain Dew. That's my thing. I'm like, look, if I'm going to be in a quarantine, I'm going to drink my garbage and just feel sick.
I saw this tweet that was like, if you rub a bottle of Mountain Dew 3 times, the spears. Diet Mountain Dew. What a world we live in. Oh, wow.
That's the only joy
I brought my White Claw home, though. Got to keep the essentials.
Hell yeah.
I've actually only had like 1.
That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like this quarantine has made me, like, I really just haven't drank very much.
Good for you.
I'm like, there's just really no need.
Yeah, I just kind of sit at the computer all day, and then I just roll on the floor like a dog. And
I do my like one workout video, and then I'm like, I've only moved 1,000 steps.
That's great, though. Good for you. You're still working out.
I would just go crazy if I didn't.
Guys, keep moving, keep walking, keep doing what you got to do. Stay socially distanced, but let us know what you're doing to enjoy the quarantine. I don't have the answers.
Yeah, none of us do. Well, the CDC probably does.
The CDC knows the fun shit. They know the apps that you need.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next Monday morning.
All right, bye.